The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Happy Hour. You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where Happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
Well, hello there. How's it going? This is Happy Hour. I haven't said that in about 2 weeks. Man, it's been weird not being able to talk into the mic and speak to you people. Man, it's been weird. I've almost been like muffled where I can't speak when I was on vacation in Illinois. And I will break that down and everything else. But first, to get into contact with me via Happy Hour, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. It doesn't take a goddamn PhD. All you have to do is tweet at me, at Ryan Happy Radio, and I will be sure to see it in real time. And I like interacting with the fans. I like interacting with the listeners. So I'll slap you a favorite, maybe give you a follow, and definitely respond and read it on air. So tweet at me, at Ryan Happy Radio. Also, download my app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Happy Radio. There you can listen to all the shows on demand, all 38 interviews I've done since July 2015. And there's the chat feature. So when I'm live, like right now, you can listen and chat me. I love that feature. We have so much to get into. But first, it was one of those things where when I went on vacation, it was odd because living in Tampa Bay feels like a vacation every single day. Hey, that rhymed. I love my job more than anything in this world. I love representing the Bone at events. I love the fact that Rob, Mike Kelton, Mike Olivero have given me this opportunity to work here. I love that I'm in Florida. I love my apartment. I love my life. So every single day I'm here in Tampa Bay, it feels like a vacation. So it's sort of weird how you go from the 19th biggest radio market, a dream situation for me, and you go back to your house in Illinois, where I found my dad passed away on the side of the bed. It's kind of weird how you go from 80-degree weather to like 20-degree weather, no sun, and just kind of a weird vibe in Illinois. So what happens is I take the Tampa Bay International Airport, and my plane was at like 7 a.m., and I was up for like 21 hours. And I'll never forget this. I'll keep talking about this till the day I die. There's nothing more bizarre than when you're up for like 24 hours in a row, you go on an airplane, you take a nap, and first of all, if you're watching Happy TV, you can see what I did. It looked like I was trying to like service myself. Like my head was on my knees because I couldn't fit in the seat. So my sleeping on the plane for 2 hours from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. once I got to Tampa, once I got to Chicago, because it's a 2-hour plane. Basically, it looked like I was trying to like go south of the border of myself. It was so hard to sleep. So first of all, that sucked coming back home. And then two, I'm in this like t-shirt and shorts. I have sort of a tan just because I'm in the sun. I'm not like tan, but I'm not pale. And it's so weird to go from Tampa Bay to Chicago. And you get outside of O'Hare Airport in Chicago, and you're like, I'm cold. Why is it cold? Like, it's the weirdest transition when you have lived in sunshine for 8 months, and then it's like cloudy and like 29 degrees out. And you're like, oh yeah, that's how the rest of the Midwest is. And it kind of reminds me, even before I break down the rest of my vacation, it reminds me that it's really not that cold here in Florida. It reminds me that even though the night I left Florida to go to Illinois, it was 40 degrees and I had the heat on in my car, it's not cold. So to anybody out there who is a Floridian, as they say, anybody out there that moved down here, you need to be grateful for what we have. Sit down and shut up when you bitch on social media, or you bitch around the office, or you bitch around school, or wherever you have social interactions, and you say, oh, it's cold out. Even if it gets 20 degrees in Florida, it's not that cold because it won't be there for 5 months and the sun's out. So sick of it. And I almost fell for that trap. I almost was one of the guys where I'm like, oh, it's cold here in Tampa. No, it's not. When it's 45 degrees out, you're not going to get a cold being outside. You might need to wear a hoodie. It's like going to a football game in high school, but you're not cold. Cold is when I lost my cell phone in my mom's car, and I'm trying to find it at night during vacation, and I was in a hurry. Like the car was about to explode because I was shivering. My bones were chilling because it's like 17 degrees out, and I didn't see the sun there, and it was depressing. So sit down and shut up if you find Florida cold. Even if you're from here and you say, oh, but I want to see what snow is like. Do you really? It's not like It's a Wonderful Life, the movie, where everyone's playing in snow and it's great. Oh, yeah. Gotta love when the highway shut down. Oh, yeah. Gotta love when you have to shovel your driveway over and over all day, or get up in the morning and shovel your driveway. Oh, you gotta love when the roads are full of snow and they don't plow them. Trust me, people from Florida. Trust me, people from the South or from California. You're not missing out on that much when it comes to the snow. It's cool until the clock reaches midnight on December 26th. Once Christmas is over, that's when you're like, all right, enough of the winter. It's sort of cool until you turn 12 and you go to middle school and you quit sledding. That's when snow gets old. So trust me when I say snow isn't that great. Trust me, you can probably hear the passion in my voice when I say I despise the winter. Oh my God, am I glad to be in Florida. It was the first thing I noticed when I got off that plane. I'm shivering, and I'm a little bitch. I found 35 degrees to be cold. My cousins were like, dude, it's not that cold out. Like, my 10-year-old cousins are more manly than me. I'm shivering, and they're like, Cousin Ryan, it's not that cold. That's when I know this is for me. I love Tampa. I want to make it work. I love this city. I love this radio market. It's great. One of the things I was really looking forward to when it came to going home on vacation was seeing kids from high school. And when you go back, you think that's what you want to have happen. But trust me, seeing kids from high school is kind of weird. And this is why it's weird. Because when you're in high school, it's sort of like being in prison where you have to pretend to get along. You're going to have the beefs. But then you realize that high school is pretty pathetic. High school is pretty fake. No one really cares about each other. And if they do, that's when your friends pass high school. Like I have friends like Kyle, and that's it. It's the only kid from high school I keep in touch with. I have friends that went to other high schools, but when it comes to the high school I went to, I have no friends from there. And that was very eye-opening. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where you go, Here's an example. I hit up one of my friends, and I go, hey, dude, you want to hang out, man? Hey, dude, would you want to do something? And he goes, yeah, man, do you have any Klonopin? Because he knows I take Klonopin for my ADHD. And I was like, you haven't seen me in a year, and the first thing you're asking me is for my drugs, for my ADHD? That was the opening clue that high school was fake. The fact that one of my good friends only wanted to see me because I take a pill in the morning and afternoon for my anxiety. Another example was there was this kid named Tim who used to TP my house, used to egg my house, used to prank call my house, and I thought those shenanigans were over with. Hey, we're graduated from high school. We've all grown up. I guess not. The problem was this. Here's what happened. He tweets at Mike Kelta all this nonsense. He's tweeting at everybody at the Bone, being annoying. And it felt good that people were defending me, but it was very odd. It reminded me that I need to keep pursuing my dream and to not care what anybody thinks, because it's pretty sad if you're bringing up things that happened a half a decade ago. Time flies. A half a decade ago, you're tweeting it at my employer, trying to have something happen. Do you think they care what happened in high school? Of course they don't. So that was the other thing I noticed when I went back to town is no one really cares. Like I went to the bar and I saw kids from high school and they can pretend all they want. Ooh, you're in radio. Oh, how's that going? It'd be the same thing if I was working at a local grocery shop, this and that. They really don't care that you work in radio. It's just because I'm single and I don't have any kids or I didn't go to college. There's nothing else to really talk to me about. So they're going to pretend they care that I'm in radio, but they really don't. Because they go, oh, I see you're doing it. That radio thing, you know, like they don't know that it's the Bone or that I have the best local podcast in Tampa. Not that I want them to. It would boost my ego. But you notice that they don't know what to say, and it's the awkward situation where both parties don't know how to back out at the bar. So you're like, oh, hey, dude, how's that radio thing going? Which is another weird part about visiting home is the awkward interaction with people you sort of knew. Maybe you are friends in gym class. Maybe you are partners in science class, but you didn't have much in common. You never hung out outside of school. That's what I noticed when it came to coming home, too, was at the bar. It was just like, hey, dude. So those were just some things I noticed when it came from going home for about 12 days. And then the worst thing happened. The worst thing possibly happened. I'm all pumped to get back to Florida. I'm getting bored. I've done the basic tour of having deep dish pizza, having Italian beef, having this and that. I've had all the Chicago food. I've seen all the friends I need to. I've hung out with my family. And I don't like being at my house because that's where I found my dad dead. So I don't really see it as a place with memories. I see it more as like a funeral home, and I'm just being honest. The weather's cold. I'm ready to get back to Florida. So it reaches Monday, and I'm like, all right, I got this date on New Year's Eve. I'm going to hang out with Matt from Horn Blast. I'm going to do all of this. I can't wait to get back to Tampa. So I go to O'Hare Airport, but it's the same day. There's all this snow. There's all this cold weather. So me and my mom were very foolish to think that I'd be going back to Tampa when all of the Midwest is under a huge snow attack. But whatever. My mom drops me off. I give her a kiss on the cheek. Bye, Mom. Love you. See you in about 9 months. Go in the airport, check in my baggage. It's absolute chaos at the airport. I mean, like the world's about to end. And I had the vibe, I hope I can go home to Tampa. I really do. But something in my heart told me that wouldn't be happening. So what happens is I'm sitting there, I'm watching Power on Cinemax, a show I like on my laptop, and something tells me while I'm sitting waiting to go on the plane in like the waiting area for American Airlines, I go, maybe I should check the monitor, see if my plane's going or not. So I look at the monitor. Over 70 flights, including the one from O'Hare to Tampa, were canceled. And I can't even describe the feeling when I realized that I might have to be in Illinois at the house where I found my dad passed away for a few extra days. I can't express the feeling where I just want to go home. I want to get on with my radio career. I want to work at the Bone, but I'm trapped where I don't have an outlet to talk. And all my possessions, my cat, my TV, my Xbox, it's all in Florida. So then you go to the front desk of American Airlines, hoping that there's some flight. I would have been willing to wait till noon the next day just to get home. Everything was canceled until Friday because you had to pay like $1,900 for a one-way trip. Oh my God, was it heartbreaking. And that week was boring. Like, I drank in my friend's apartment downtown. We got turned up. It was fun. But it was this thing where it's like, my time here has come to an end for this year. I can't take it. So all this together really reminded me how much I love Tampa Bay. All of this together made me realize that all my true friends and all my true mentors and everything that's great in my life is here in Tampa. I have my family in the Midwest. I have my mom in the Midwest. I have some friends in the Midwest. But everything that's dear to my heart, my apartment, my job, my award-winning podcast, everything I'm doing down here, the weather, going to the beach, everything is here in Florida. And I am more determined and more pumped. And I've never been so focused to make this radio thing work because if I'm not in Tampa Bay, I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. I'm barely anything here. I'm a promotions kid at a badass radio station in Tampa Bay in the 19th biggest market. I'm honored. But if I go back to the Midwest, I'm nothing. My family doesn't care that I have the best local podcast in Tampa or that I work at the Bone. And I'm not bragging. I'm expressing the fact that it's really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. To me it is. To anybody in radio it is. But they don't get that you're in radio. They don't get that I've had 38 guests. They don't get this or that. They don't get that I met Joe Madden. They don't get that I work in the same hallway as legends and big market DJs. They see me as Ryan Hoppy. They used to clean my diaper. My friends see me as Ryan Hoppy. We used to go bowling on the weekend. Like, it reminds you that if you want to make it in life, sometimes it's not at home because they will always see you as the original way they saw you, and their opinion will never be swayed because they were around you for so long. It's very hard to change it. It was just some deep thoughts I was having while stranded at my house as a kid, wanting to come back to Tampa, not having anything to do. So those were just some things that went through my head. And tweeted me what you think at Ryan Hoppy Radio and messaged me on Spreaker, like my guy Devin, who said, I always hate when people complain of quote-unquote cold weather in Florida. A light sweater is perfect. Quit complaining, you pussies. And I'm a native of Florida. It's never cold. Exactly. Go to the Midwest. Tune on the Weather Channel. It's -10 out. It's snowing out. If you think this is cold, where it's 55 in the morning, shut up. Really? And if you think snow is so great, go move out there. Go move to Cleveland or Buffalo or Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, all those shiny cities. Have fun when it's hot out in August in the dog days of the summer and it's never that hot in June or July. And the rest of the year, it's mellow to cold. Have fun with that. People in Florida don't realize how great they have it. I'm not bitching. I'm not mad. I'm ranting. It's just ridiculous that they're like, oh, it's cold. And then when it's too hot, they're like, oh, it's hot. It's like, trust me when I say, even if you're a fat slob, being hot is better than being cold because you can at least be outside. When it's so cold out with snow, you can't even drive anywhere. You can't even go anywhere. You can't even have a cigarette if you smoke outside or drink a beer with your friends because it's cold out and your face turns pink just walking to the mailbox. So trust me when I say, if you live in Florida or you live in Texas or anywhere that's warm, appreciate it. So sit down, shut up, and realize that not living in the Midwest is the best. Hey, that rhymed.
Next on Happy Hour.
All right, next on Happy Hour. It says here, drunk driving Facebook video leads to Ohio man's arrest. And I'm about to rant about the imbecile, cretin, dumbass morons who drunk drive and why it irritates me more than anything. But first, tweet me at Ryan Hoppy Radio and message me on Spreaker or via the Happy Radio app on the Google Play and iPhone shop. We will be right back on Happy Hour. After this, hang on.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Hey, it's Ryan Hoppy from the award-winning Happy Hour. And I'm here today to speak about my guy, Brandon Langley of Buzz Designs. Is your website so atrocious that you can't even be found on Google? Do you need your website to be updated? Or do you not even have a website? Do you need to get some graphic design done? Do you need advice on computers? Are you just lost in general? Trust me when I say my guy, Brandon Langley of Buzz Designs is the man for the job. Buzz Designs has built websites that have gathered millions of views. He has worked with some of the biggest names in app development in 2015. The unique talent of the developers from around the world world come together, and they will help you expand and grow immediately. With their hard work and their die-hard ethic comes the affordable pricing. So trust me when I say Brandon Langley is the man for the job. He will tackle any challenge, and he will not give up until the job is done. When I came to town here in Tampa Bay, my website was crap. I met Brandon Langley at a concert. He recognized me. 2 months later, I am so proud of my website, hoppyradio.com. He can make you proud of whatever you want to share in 2015 when it is so vital and it is so important to have top-notch websites and top-notch graphic design for your product, your company, etc. To get into contact with Brandon, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is go to buzzdesigns.me. That is buzzdesigns.me. And there at the website, you can contact him. Be sure to leave your name, your email, and he will get back to you as soon as possible. I'm a man of my words. And trust me when I say Brandon Langley of Buzz Designs is the best around and the best in Tampa Bay.
It's time to turn Hoppy on. It's time to turn Hoppy on. It's time to turn Hoppy on.
All right, welcome back to Hoppy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy. Tweeting me in real time so I can see your messages at Ryan Hoppy Radio. Also, message me via Spreaker and on the Hoppy Radio app. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is just download the Hoppy Radio app into Google Play Shop or the iPhone shop, and you can chat me there. I'm very pumped. The downloads are through the roof with the app. It's awesome when I'm at a bar. Like last weekend, I was at a bar, and it was in downtown St. Pete, and it was so awesome that this guy comes up to me and goes, "Yo, are you Hoppy?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" And he just opens up his phone. He was pretty drunk. And he goes, "I have your app." And I mean, that means the world to me because I do this show to entertain the audience. I also do it because I want to someday be paid for this. Someday I want to have an agent. But I also do this because I want to hear about how this show makes your day. I want you to plug the app into the aux cord in your car. I want you to listen maybe while you're at the gym. I want you to spread the word and tell your girlfriend about it or your grandpa. So whenever I hear anybody talking about the show and how they listen, it means the world to me. All right, we have so much to get into, so let's just get this damn thing going. I am worried about the fact that I think drunk driving is getting worse by the minute. And it seems like millennials, kids my age, I hate that word, but I'll say it. It seems like they don't really get the consequences of driving drunk because they're so used to playing games like GTA and Need for Speed and Midnight Club back in the day that they don't think there's anything wrong with drunk driving because there's this whole mentality with kids my age where they go, "Yeah, I mean, I drove tipsy last night. I wasn't blackout drunk." Or they'll say, "It wasn't like that bad. I just drove a mile. It wasn't like I was going across the highway." Or they'll say, "I'm a really good drunk driver, man. You don't know." How about this? You are putting everyone's lives on the line when you put that key in the ignition and you put your thing in drive and you start speeding off. You are being a selfish, complete scumbag leech when you drive drunk or you drive buzzed. So sick of hearing, "Oh, but I'm a really good drunk driver." Are you really? That's such a hypocritical thing to say. You're drunk. You're inebriated. You're out of it. You can't be a good driver. Maybe you're semi-functional, but you don't know. You have a bad reflex. You're not all there. What if someone crosses the road? What if you don't see the tree? Or what if you're a complete, utter imbecile who then posts a video of you drunk driving on Facebook because you're a dumbass millennial who doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, so he thinks it'd be funny and ironic to post on Facebook. And we're the crazy generation. We'll never get in trouble. good. This dumbass kid from Ohio really pisses me off. And I'm not saying when you get a DUI, you should be put on the death penalty, this and that. But if you're this stupid, and you're this idiotic, and you're this selfish and pea-brained to drunk drive and then put a video on Facebook, maybe you should never have a license ever. What if you ran somebody over, buddy boy? What if you killed yourself? You wouldn't be here right now, buddy boy. I know the percentage of getting caught or getting into a crash or killing somebody when it comes to people drunk driving might be low because it seems like so many people do it, they get away with it. I get that it's not like a 90% chance every time you go behind the wheel, you're going to kill somebody or you're going to get pulled over. But it's a good chance. You still have the chance. And it's just enough of that thing, but I'm a good drunk driver. Enough of the thing where you think you're immortal. We're going to die someday. Why put your life on the line just because you were too much of an idiot, too much of a pushover when your friends kept giving you a shot of Fireball that you didn't know how to stop and say, no, I have to drive home. And speaking of that, they say, but I don't want to have my car towed. I don't want to have my car broken into. Shut up. What would you rather pay? Let me ask you this. Would you rather pay $1,000? Have your car towed? That'd be the maximum. Have to go to an annoying pickup shop, deal with a douchebag who towed your car, or pay a minimum of $17,000 when it comes to DUI charges. Go to all those classes, pay for the lawyer fees, and then have that on your record, buddy boy. What would you rather have? That thing where maybe it's an inconvenience because you have to pay monthly payments to pay off the $1,000, or have to pay monthly payments of the $17,000 and have your reputation ruined just because you drank liquid that's for adults and you couldn't handle it like a dumbass moron. Ridiculous. No one thinks about it. And there might be people who will tweet at me, Hoppy, don't you drunk drive sometimes? Never. I have too much to lose. I've wanted to do radio for so long. If I even get accused of it, I'm fired. I will never, ever even drive buzzed. When I go out and I drive to a bar to meet up with a friend, I have 1 or 2 beers. I never have a shot because I don't even want to put myself in that situation. Because what if something happens where I hit a bump in the road and I get a flat tire and the cop's being a douche and he makes me do a breathalyzer? He can take you in, even if you're not drunk. There's no reason to risk it. But everybody who's a millennial thinks we're immortal, thinks we can just get away with it. Sit down, shut up, meditate, and realize what you're doing. How you're putting lives on the line. You're putting your own life on the line. You're putting your reputation, your family's reputation, and everything you've ever worked for, if you even think about doing that, on the line. This is from the Huffington Post. And this is under weird news. Drunk driving Facebook video leads to Ohio man's arrest. And now, let me be careful when I say this. Let me not try to offend the masses from when I worked in Cleveland. But oh boy, do they drink a lot in the Midwest, especially Ohio, Illinois as well. So I am not surprised that there is someone who posted a video on Facebook of them drunk driving. But I'm not being a hypocrite because that happened a few months ago in Florida. That girl was periscoping while drunk driving. So it happens everywhere. I'm just saying, I'm not surprised whatsoever that somebody was getting drunk and he was a millennial and he was from Ohio, because when it's cold out, there's not much to do, especially if you live in the middle of nowhere. And with cities like Cleveland, the bars are so cheap and fun, you drink, which is fine. There's nothing to do in the Midwest. Drink. Just don't drive, especially with the mobile phone. Nobody has Razors or Nokias anymore. And if you do, just call the taxi. Put it as your local contact. There's no excuse ever to drive drunk. And if you have any type of a smartphone, you can get Uber or Lyft. Hell, put your thumb to the side and try to get a driver to pick you up on the highway. Anything but driving drunk. There's no reason ever to do it in 2015. Going on 2016 now. And if you do it, You might even be my best friend. I will think you're a dumbass, and I will never look at you the same. I'm sorry. You might think that's harsh. You might think that's kind of a douchebag thing to do, but it's true. If you were my kid and you drunk drove and you were like 17, let's say, I would not let you drive until you prove me that you're a better person. Maybe if you're 21, unless you go to college. That's how seriously I take drunk driving. It's ridiculous. And it's a topic no one wants to talk about. It's so preventable. I know murder's not preventable and bad people robbing people and all that, but drunk driving is preventable. If you plan out your night or you take responsibility, if you didn't plan out your night and you got too drunk and you find another way to go home, it's so preventable. Just don't put those keys in the ignition, but you have to because you're a dumbass imbecile. This is from Columbus. An Ohio man took cell phone video of himself drinking while driving and put it on Facebook like a loser, cretin, imbecile, leading to an arrest hours later in a case that shows how social media can help the law enforcement. How dumb was this kid? Did he get his GED and didn't even try and barely got it because we're like, Jesus Christ, you smell so bad. Get out of our classroom. How much of an imbecile must his kid be? He must not be very bright. If he thinks putting it on Facebook, putting it online where it's going to always be online, if he thinks he's going to get away with this, he must have been so drunk that he didn't even know what he was doing. He must have just drank a half a bottle of Jack. Oh, look at me. It's a real-life Grand Theft Auto. Shut up. Someone tipped off deputies about the video. That was me. I'm just kidding. But if I did see it, I would tip it off. After it was put up Monday, and the vehicle was on the side of the road during the afternoon on the south side of Columbus in Hamilton Township, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office said. A copy of the 12-second video provided by the Sheriff's Office shows a man sitting in a vehicle looking into the camera while music plays in the background, then raising his eyebrows and taking a swig from a partially covered bottle, like an alcoholic loser that doesn't know what he's doing with his life. He doesn't speak. As the clip ends, the camera is flipped around to show a hand with only one finger raised to guide the wheel. So he's not even trying to drive. I'm not saying it'd be better if he had his hands on the wheel and he was drinking, but he's not even trying whatsoever. What an idiot. He's like, I got my hand, one finger, YOLO. Watch this, dude. I'm going to drink and drive. Dumbass. Ugh, God, it's so preventable. That's what's infuriating. Murder gets me really mad because it's sad that people would take other people's lives, but that's not preventable. Drunk driving is beyond preventable. Just don't do it. You're going to get caught. And then you see things like in the Midwest. I saw from ABC 7. I didn't want to read the article because I didn't want to give the imbecile the time of day. But some dude got his 20th DUI. And I'm like, what lawyer is he getting where he keeps on getting away with that? Like, what is the judge that's just saying, yeah, let's give Jerome his license again? Like the 20th time. When I hear fourth or fifth, maybe they keep pleading in court and they're putting on a good case. But when it reaches double digits and you keep on getting DUIs, you should never be allowed to drive until the day you die. And if heaven's real or the afterlife, God should not let you drive when you go through that golden gate into heaven. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just such an ignorant thing to do. Driving while drunk. Driving is such a privilege. It's such a non-right. We don't have to drive. My friend in Illinois doesn't drive. We are blessed that we're allowed to drive. The driver, this dumbass known as Devin Rickers, pleaded not guilty, of course, Tuesday in Franklin County Municipal Court on 5 misdemeanor charges, including operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs and having an open container in the vehicle. Rickers of Obetz, a county of Columbus, has no publicly shown phone number, which I don't know why they would list that. What are they going to do? Put his number in the Huffington Post article and then we all can prank call him? I'm not sure why that's there. I'm just saying. A public defender in his court didn't immediately respond to a message seeking comment on Wednesday from the media. Court officials indicate indicate Rickers pleaded guilty earlier this year in a separate impaired driving case when he was pulled over in a DUI checkpoint. This dude doesn't get it. Don't let him have his license until 2026. I don't care if this is just his second DUI. If you really think this is just the second time he's driven drunk, then you are brain dead. If you think he's going to learn from this, then you are brain dead. He just did it 2 years ago. He's 28 years old. He's about to turn 30. He's not growing up. He's got a drinking problem, and he needs to learn his lesson. This is a dude. I see his face. He does feel bad. I can tell. But you need to go through the punishment of not having a license for a whole decade. I'm just saying. We have a serious problem when it comes to drinking and driving. And yeah, you can have those PSAs that are so adorable that air on Adult Swim or Comedy Central at night. But those don't seem to be working because it keeps on getting worse and worse. We need to take action when it comes to drunk driving to stop this whole phenomenon. Especially here in Tampa, especially in Pinellas County. See drunk drivers all the time, the most obvious drunk drivers. I never saw this in Illinois. You would see people that you maybe thought were drunk, but then they're just on their phone or they're half asleep. I've seen so many obvious drunk drivers, there's not enough cops to pull them over. And if you plan on going out tonight and drinking, please, for the love of God, don't drink and drive. Plan out your night. And if you do get too drunk, just sleep outside. It's not cold in Florida. It's going to be worth it. You're not going to have the legal fees. And the next morning, you're going to feel good about yourself. Yeah, you might be sick and very hungover, but at least you're not in jail and you have to deal with this for the rest of your life. I'm just saying.
Next on Happy Hour.
We have so much to get into, but first, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppy Radio and message me via the Hoppy Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop or here on Spreaker if you're listening live. All right, up next, Josh Duggar files a motion against porn actor suing him following a sexual encounter that felt like rape. But she does not deny he paid the woman for rough sex. So that's it, scumbag from 16 Kids and Counting. Who would have thought that a Christian who portrays one on TV would be all horned up? We will be right back on Happy Hour.
Happy Hour.
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppy from Happy Hour, and I have a very special shout out to one of the sponsors of this award-winning podcast. Nicholas Seymour from Duluth, Minnesota is the owner of Solly's Graphics, which is a badass company that will make you decals. You can buy Happy Hour decals. It's not too hard. For just $4, you can support this award-winning podcast while supporting small business here in America. Or maybe you have a band, a company, a freelancing project, and you want to have your logo made into a nice, badass decal. Nick is down for making deals, and he is very good at negotiating. If you want to get into contact with Nick, it's not hard. Trust me. He will answer your call real quick, and he is one of the nicest guys I know. His number is 330-419-0691. That is 330-419-0691. Or you can send him an email, soulysdesign@gmail.com. That is soulysdesign@gmail.com. And to check out Happy Hour decals for just $4, go to tinyurl.com/happy hour decal. That is tinyurl.com/happy hour decal. And when you talk to my guy Nick, just say that Ryan Hoppy sent you, and he will give you a badass deal. Trust my word, pimps. Nick Seymour of Solly's Graphics is the best around.
Tweet Hoppy at Ryan Hoppy Radio. Email him, ryan@hoppyradio.com, and give him a nice, sexy Snapchat at Hoppy Radio.
All right, welcome back to the show. Tweet me at Ryan Hoppy Radio. Message me via the apps on Google Play and iPhone. Just search up Hoppy Radio. Much more. All right. I saw this at my favorite news site because the Huffington Post has become a tabloid where it's all anti-Trump. And then they had a news article that was like, here's what it's like when a lesbian first touches a penis. Then the other articles are about that one family with the big butts that aren't famous. Like, what's going on with the Huffington Post? I'm utterly confused. It makes TMZ look like the Independent or something respectable, like the BBC. I don't get what's going on with them. Like, I know they don't care, and I'm going to keep doing their thing, and I'm just a podcast out of Tampa. I get I'm not the most known outlet, and I get that my show is just ranting, but I don't know what's going on with the Huffington Post when your news is why we withheld from orgasming during sex, or why this lesbian wanted to touch a penis for the first time. Like, what? Like, Walter Cronkite is rolling over in his grave when he sees articles, if there is heaven, seeing why this lesbian finally touched the dong. I mean, stop. Or Tyga is going to sue the girl that broke her and Kylie up. Like, what? Why is that news? So I saw this at the Daily Mail, which is my favorite news site. It says, Josh Duggar, the guy from 16 Kids and Counting, the main brother that everybody looked up to, the savior of the family, the good old jolly dude. Yeah, Josh Duggar files motion against porn actress, suing him following sexual encounter that felt like rape. But does not deny he paid the woman for rough sex. So yeah, he was this dude. I waited till marriage. I love my life. I love my wife. It's great. I love God. I'm a moral man. I never watch porn. And you find out he's paying rough sex with a porn star. I mean, I know we shouldn't be thinking much of reality TV, but it's just sad. Like, they're such creeps. It says here, Josh Duggar has filed a motion to have a lawsuit filed against him by porn actress Danica Dillon. And he wants that dismissed from court. Danica Dillon makes some fine videos. I have Showtime On Demand. And I have this thing where I like to watch softcore porn because my whole life I've gone on Pornhub or XNXN, all those sites. And anybody out there who thinks I'm a creep for knowing them, shut up. You watch porn too. And I'm so sick of watching, just like you go 7 minutes into the video and you're just like, oh, I'm watching people have sex. I kind of like the build up and the plot line because it makes me feel like I'm a part of the video and I'm actually getting laid because I'm very lonely. Not really, but you know what I mean. And Danica Dillon is in some good softcore porn. So it's fun to watch. Riveting. I know. Josh Duggar is being sued by her for $500,000, $500,000, who said he manhandled her in a way as she felt as she was being raped. And this is just such a sketchy situation because there's so many different scenarios that could have gone down. It could have been they were having rough, kinky sex, like BDM. And maybe he gave her a bruise or two, but she was into it the whole time. Or maybe she wasn't into it at all, but she liked the show and she wanted to impress him. Or maybe she didn't want to have sex with him at all, and she felt like she was getting raped. This dummy obviously put himself in that situation. He obviously did something, and I hate the excuse, but she's in porn. She should be used to that. That is such a pig thing to say. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm a feminist, but that's ridiculous if you're going to take the route of, well, she's in porn, she's used to it. When you're in porn, you're being paid to have sex. It's consensual. You sign a contract. Who knows what could have happened here? I'm just saying. Just because they have sex on camera doesn't mean they're not humans. Ridiculous. But I'm just saying we don't know what happened here. It's such a sketchy situation. Dylan alleges that Duggar was violent when they had sex on 2 occasions. I want to know what violence is. Was it spanking her ass, grabbing her boobs, being violent? Or was it like Chris Brown or anybody like that where you just punch her, kick her, beat her up, whips when she didn't want it? Like, I just want to know, did he take off his belt and just begins whipping her? Like, I wonder how that is. The motion also points out that Dylan consented to the both physical and sexual contact with Duggar for a payment. It's just amazing how fast this whole family has fallen. A year ago, people maybe didn't like the show. People were maybe annoyed by it. But we never thought that Josh Duggar would first be on Ashley Madison like a dumbass. And number 2 would be potentially paying porn actresses to bang him. Just saying. A pretrial conference is scheduled for January 21st. Imagine having him as your dad, by the way. Maybe the kid is so, like, sheltered right now he won't know. But people are going to look him up. And this is going to be online forever. The internet's not going anywhere. I mean, what a dumbass. If he thought he was never going to get caught with this. All right, here's what it says. He is denying it, saying it never happened. Of course he is. What is he going to say? He's trying to milk this for all it's worth, trying to prove his innocence. I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty. But of course, Josh Duggar's not going to go, oh, yeah, I did it. Oh, yeah. Of course he's going to try and deny it. That's what his lawyer tells him to do. It says, Radar Online first obtained Duggar's motion, which was filed last Wednesday. And here's what it says. This is from Josh Duggar's lawyer, who is Jeffrey Conrad, and he wrote this in the motion. And I quote, assault requires both intent to place the plaintiff in imminent apprehension of harm or offensive contact and the plaintiff's actual imminent apprehension. I just want to know if there's any evidence that shows if it was actually consensual and she's in it for the attention, or if it's the flip side and he really is a creep. It's just going to be unique to see what happens here. And here's what the lawyer goes on to say. Plaintiff did not provide anything more than a formulaic recitation of the elements of assault and or battery. Blah, 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 blah. It's lawyer talk. The motion also points that Dylan, who is asking for $500,000, consented to the both physical and sexual contact with Duggar, as if then he was going to pay her. So basically, he says, I paid her and then we banged. It's so sketchy with these sex cases. Unless you have a clear-cut video of it, it's just, you don't know who to believe. And this Josh Duggar guy is such a creep going on TV, and he may have touched his siblings in the past, and he cheats on his wife on Ashley Madison like a dumbass. And what's so creepy is he was such a preaching guy about being abstinent and not going on porn and this and that. And he tried to deny that he went on porn when all the Ashley Madison things first came out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did beat her up, because maybe he has such bland, like, missionary sex with his wife that this is like the time that he feels like he can just like explode and have it all come out. No pun intended. Josh Duggar, who is 29, met Danica Dillon, who is 27, at the golf club, or the Gold Club rather, in Philadelphia in March, when she was performing there as an exotic dancer. So this goes way back. This dude is all horned up. You know his wife must not be putting out that much. I'm not saying it's an excuse whatsoever. I'm just saying this dude is horned up if he is going to a strip club to meet a dancer in Philadelphia. I did that when I first moved to town. I went to a club in good old Holiday, Florida to meet Tori Black, but that's because she's one of my favorite actresses. And anybody out there, oh, Hoppy, you're a creep for having a favorite actress. Shut up. Everyone watches porn. And I did it because I was lonely. So he must be sort of lonely, too, and not getting some if he has to pay a strip club to meet a girl. I'm just saying. Because when you go to these appearances, I've just been to one, but when you have, like, fans of porn actresses, it's kind of weird. Like, I went there because I was bored, and I kind of wanted to get a picture with Tori Black, but there's guys who were so excited to meet her. It's weird. Like, it's just weird how, like, they have fans. Like, people get excited. Like, people review porn, and they have fan sites. It's just, it's creepy. I just watch it and get it done. The 28-year-old said Duggar paid $600 for lap dances. Spending that good old TLC money, the money you make on TLC, the Learning Channel, and then kept on bothering her to the back of the hotel where he offered her $1,500. Once again, spending that TLC money, and then was hoping to get some. And then they engaged in identical tortuous conduct. As a result of this, the suit claims that Dylan is currently being treated for severe anxiety similar to post-traumatic stress by a psychiatrist. Now, that can be very detrimental to his case. That will hurt him. If she actually has been to court and has the evidence that she went to a psychiatrist and was taking different meds. I have bipolar, ADD, and ADHD. I'm always very outspoken about it. And I will say this. If she has been going through meds left and right, and there are notes, because they can't just make up. She can't just pay a psychiatrist to say, I had to go to one. If there is actual proof that she had to take meds, then this creep is probably guilty. But if she joined last month, then maybe I'd be a little more suspicious. But if there is actual proof that she had to take Klonopin or Xanax and she was going through different meds, trust me, this creep's guilty. Danica Dillon's attorney, Mark, says that if Duggar takes the talking motion, he will likely be questioned about his entire sexual history and the fact that he molested 5 minors as a teenager, which doesn't really help his cause. It's not like it's a clean slate. It's not like when good old Billy Graham's grandson was banging that girl at church. Everyone moved on. They're just like, oh, yeah, he's another scumbag preacher. But when you have a past of touching 5 minors as a teenager, that doesn't really help your cause, buddy boy. Here's what Danica's lawyer said. The defendant may be subject to having to talk about his prior bad or sexually abusive acts at trial. They are all relevant if he takes the stand. Here's what the lawyer goes on to say. The defendant has a past of sexual and physical abuse towards women, particularly those who perceive as vulnerable and weak. He has to be held responsible for his actions. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar could also possibly have to go up there for hiding details. Oh, man. This might be a juicy case. If you have other members of the Duggar family pleading up there, this could get really good. Like, I hate Nancy Grace and I hate celebrity crap, but I might have to tune on HLN or TMZ to see the update of the Josh Duggar case. This could get really juicy and really good real fast if you have the members of that scumbag, phony, baloney, imbecile, fake Christian family going up there trying to either defend or have to give out specific details about the past of Josh Duggar. I'm just saying this is going to get good real fast. This may not be O.J. Simpson or Michael Jackson type of a case, but this will be up there as entertaining. I will make it my effort to play the audio of them speaking in court. Here's what it said. Josh Duggar entered a faith-based rehab program in Illinois in August. Oh, yeah, because that really helped. Yeah, really helped his point. It was a PR stunt. He just wanted to show that he's trying to prove that he's not that much of a pervert. Do you think he really wanted to go to rehab? Because he would have gone to rehab right when he made an Ashley Madison website, or the first time he cheated, then he would have felt bad. It was kind of weird how he joined rehab right after TMZ and all the news publications were talking about him, and then he was supposedly not even seen there. He wasn't going to classes. Obviously, this horn dog didn't want to go to rehab. Because if he did, he would have gone before the show or taken a leave of absence during the show. But he waited until he was found like a little rat in a corner at an alley in New York City about to be killed. Of course he waited. He doesn't care. This dude loves sex, which is fine. But when you're cooped up in this religious family, that's when these horn dogs come out, because you have to put on this act that you don't believe in premarital sex, this and that. But that's when it really comes out. That's why religion can really mess up horn dogs, is because I'm not saying if he wasn't religious, he'd be a better person. But I can just imagine as a teenager, him checking out girls and his family is like, you have to wait till marriage. I mean, no one does that anymore. He has been married to his wife and has a 5-month-old Meredith Grace, his daughter, his 2-year-old Marcus, his 4-year-old Michael, and 6-year-old Mackenzie. And it says here he visited his wife Anna on Christmas, though it is not clear if she took any of the couple's 4 kids with her on the trip. Oh my God, I would love to be a fly on the wall and see that interaction between them, especially around the Christmas tree if the kids are there. Just the pure hatred she has towards him. And that's if she didn't know anything about it. We can't rule out the fact that maybe she covered it up and she was in it for the money and the attention and the embarrassment she would get if she had to divorce him. I'm not ruling anything out of this family. They're creeps. They went on TV. If they were such good religious figures, they wouldn't be on a scumbag network like TLC. Just saying. Josh confessed to having affairs in a letter. Who the hell writes letters anymore? Of course that was PR. In August, shortly before he entered rehab, writing, and I quote, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever." Well, no shit, Sherlock. While espousing faith and family values. No, you weren't. Don't even try to say you were. You were on TV getting paid a lot of money to pretend you're Christian. You weren't doing anything, dude. Back to the quote. "I have secretly, over the last several years, been viewing pornography on the internet, and this became an addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife." I remember ranting about this back on Happy Hour back in August. That is the least of your problem. If you were watching porn, if that's the first thing you apologize for, then you are delusional. Then your ego is through the roof. Then you are a creep. If the first thing you think about saying sorry, not for being on Ashley Madison, not for the accusations of touching your own siblings, and you would have known that the Danica Dillon thing is coming forward. Of course you would have. You didn't say sorry for any of that, and who knows what else he's done. The first thing you say sorry for is going on Pornhub? This dude is batshit crazy, if that's what he's sorry for. I'm not saying going on porn is a good or bad thing, but if that's the first thing you're saying sorry for, dude, you're out of your mind. You're not on this planet, dude. You're a hypocrite. You're a phony. You're a loser. You're a creep. You're a scumbag. That's the first thing. Sorry, I watched the 2-minute clip of Lisa Ann when I was really stressed out. Who cares? Everyone watches porn. And if everyone denies it, they're lying. I know there are probably some people that don't watch porn, but if you're going to sit here and be hypocritical about it, those are the people who are usually the creepiest. So anybody out there listening who meets someone who goes, "I don't watch that pornography, smut," or "I don't support that," of course you do. You're putting on an act. You're trying to show that you're not a creep. Just saying. All right, it says here, just a few months before that in May, it was revealed that he touched 4 of his sisters when he was a teenager and they were minors. He didn't say sorry then. He didn't write the letter. That's my point. If he was that sorry, he would have wrote a letter and quit the show and gone to rehab in May when it came out. But he waited till August because obviously watching pornography to him, obviously just loading up Pornhub, which is legal on your laptop, is worse than touching and ruining the lives of your own sibling. You scumbag creep, burn in hell. If it is real. I'm just saying, if that's what you find bad, dude, you're out of your mind. Here's what else he goes on to say. Oh, this is juicy, just how much of a hypocrite and how much of a creep he is. I am ashamed of the double life that I am living and the grief that I caused for the hurt, pain, and disgrace my sin has caused my friends and family. And most of all, Jesus and all those who profess faith in him. Oh, shut up. Shut your mouth. You didn't write this. Actually, maybe you did because it's so stupid and so idiotic and mindless. If you were sorry about the double life and you knew about the past of you touching your siblings, you never would have been on the show because you've been a hypocrite the whole time. If you were so embarrassed about your past when you wrote this in August, you would have quit the show in March when you paid to meet Danica Dillon at a strip club in Philly. If you were so sorry, you would have quit the show and been embarrassed about the double life that you lived when you were on Ashley Madison paying to cheat on your wife. You have 4 kids, dude. It's not like your kid was just born 9 months ago, so this didn't happen when the kids were around. You have 4 kids. The oldest is 6 years old. You've been doing this while you're supposedly a father. You're not sorry. You're not ashamed that you lived a double life, Josh Duggar, you scumbag horn dog. You're just embarrassed you got caught. Come on, dude. If this didn't come out, would you really have written this letter in August? Because this was your moneymaker. Being on TLC, being paid whatever, maybe $100,000 per episode. Who knows what they're paid? But this was your moneymaker to pretend you're a preacher. Do you really think anybody out there who's listening to Happy Hour right now, that you think he would have just quit the show? Do you really think he felt bad? He's done so much in his past. He had so many chances to quit and say he's sorry and come clean to his wife. The reason he came clean is because he got caught like a rodent in an alley in Manhattan. He doesn't feel bad. And there are people on Facebook who are supporting him. Those are these Christians that live this life of delusion where they want to believe the people they watch, they're actually good people. Most Christians, it seems like, that are in the public eye are creeps. I'm waiting for Joel Osteen to get caught doing fraud or maybe not paying his taxes or something perverted. These guys, it gets to their head. They have an ego. They forget what it's based off of, which is supposed to be God is good, religion. Shut up. That's why I'm not religious. I don't know who to trust. What I do is I live a life where I'm good to people. I live a life where I appreciate each and every second. Yeah, my dad or my mom are Roman Catholic and they go to church. Blah, blah, blah. You're eating a piece of bread. Maybe there's an afterlife. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'll wait till marriage. Because all the people that do, most of them actually don't do it. A lot of my mom's friends who are religious got married because they got knocked up or they were having sex. Most people don't wait till marriage. Most priests probably watch porn. Sorry, I know you don't want to think about Father Jerry choking a chicken, but it's probably true. We're humans. We get horny. We have body parts that something happens. Come on, you really think a priest doesn't get turned on when he's watching Modern Family and Sofia Vergara's wearing some fancy outfit to some event in the show? Come on, stop it. Get the hell out of here. It's sad how people get duped into these shows and they really believe they care. The good families are the ones that aren't on TV. The good families aren't the ones that are exploiting their kids on a major TV network. So when I found out that Josh Duggar was a creep, trust my words when I say he didn't feel bad. He was just caught like a rat in the alley. Devon J. Mergent, who I will be on his show tomorrow at 6 p.m., the Losers podcast. I can't wait. I'm honored that they invited me. He sent me a chat via Spreaker, which you can if you open up Spreaker on your computer or you listen to the Hoppy Radio app in the iPhone shop or Google Play. You can chat me live. There's a chat feature. He did the same by saying, I have no problem with religion, but forced religion and people who suppress or neglect their kids are terrible. I'm going to end on that note. No better way of saying it. Devon, Devin, whatever your name is, I'll figure it out soon. I'll ask you online. You said it perfectly.
Happy hour is about to end. But first, it's time for Last Call.
Ow.
I think I was so loaded up, ready to do a happy hour, because I did 2 interviews on Monday with Kid Chris from the top-rated Kid Chris show on WEBN in Cincinnati. I interviewed him, and then I interviewed comedian Jason Lawhead. That I think I was so ready to rant that these 75 minutes went by real fast. I could rant more, but I got to get up for work tomorrow, and I kind of want to go home and relax and eat dinner. So, before I get out of here, my website, Hoppy Radio, will be up soon. The new layout. But all you have to do is go to hoppyradio.com real soon. But what is up right now is you can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppy Radio or email me at my new email because my other one got hacked. It's a pain in the ass. Ryan at tocoworks.com. TOCOworks.com. Also, download my app in the iPhone and Google Play Shop by searching up Hoppy Radio. We have a ton of guests coming up this month, and I have things in the works this year. But it felt good to get off my feet. It felt good to come back from vacation where it humbled me out, and you see who the true people that care about you in Illinois and Tampa are. It felt good to finally do a show and talk to you people. I appreciate the support. I love how you guys have embraced me. The haters in Cleveland, the haters in Tampa, the lovers in Tampa, anywhere, anybody that listens. We reached 61,000 listens in 2015 since May and 15,000 downloads. So I appreciate any support. Happy Hour is going to grow by the minute. I'm already working on booking guests. I'm proud that I've had 38 guests since about August or late July. And that worked out for me overall since when I had Seth Kushner on from Drew Garabo Live. And I'm going to keep on pushing until I make it. My ultimate dream is to someday have an agent. My ultimate dream is to someday have a morning show like Opie and Jimmy or Mike Kelta or Real Radio 104.1 in Orlando or any of those shows. That is my ultimate dream. And I will pursue it until the day I die. I am dedicated and I love each and every one of my listeners. This has been Happy Hour. I will be back tomorrow. Spread the word. Have a good night and peace out.
Happy Hour.